And it was 1972. And she didn't tell me why, she just said no. Now, girls didn't play Little League in 1972. Girls didn't play drums, besides Karen Carpenter. And we had so much in common, you know. Shut up, audience. So when my mother got sick and went in the hospital, I forged her name on the commission slip. And I figured she'd never know. And she never did. Because she disappeared. She never came back. She went away. And no one talked about it. My mother died, and no one talked about it for 22 years. And I had such guilt, because when kids don't know the truth, they'll make up a truth. So I thought somehow playing drums made her mad. She found out, I signed the form, and she left. I thought she left and went to LA. I thought she joined the Moonies. I thought maybe she was kidnapped like Patty Hearst. Patty Hearst was kidnapped at the time. She was. I kept thinking maybe my mom was like robbing banks with a machine gun or something. Maybe she was wearing the Rachel Ray terrorist scarf. I don't know. So I played drums, and she didn't know. Interesting. My style, though, was to tell the truth. My style in our house, in our family, with our kids, is if you have a question, you can ask it, no matter what it is. If you're embarrassed or something makes you ashamed, don't be shy, don't be afraid. Because when I was a kid, it was the opposite. Yeah. I mean, even little things. You couldn't talk about big things, like my mother was dead or my father was drunk. You couldn't talk about big things, but you couldn't even talk about little things. Like what? I found a kitten, I named it Pussy. I was a child, what did I know? My father should have vetoed this particular name choice. And it so pissed me off, and it embarrassed me. And I got to be a teenager, I used to let the cat out of the house, and then hide, just to watch my father run down the street going, "Come here, Pussy! Come here, Pussy!" All the neighbors were like, "It's that old guy chasing Pussy again. Get in the house, honey. Get in the goddamn house. They should lock him up, damn it." My father. Interesting. He doesn't talk about my mother, and I never asked him. Whenever I do ask him, and whenever I did, he just wouldn't answer. He just wouldn't answer. You know, he's a different generation. But I spent the last year since leaving The View talking to people who knew my mother. She was an only child. She had no cousins. So I had to go find people who knew her when she was a kid to tell me what she was like as a woman. Because I am now 46 years old. I have outlived my mother by 7 years. I never planned on that. Never did. Here's what I found out about my mother. She loved BLT sandwiches on white bread with crispy bacon. She loved the color blue. Not sky blue, not navy blue, but the kind of blue that you find on fine china. She couldn't afford fine china, so she'd go to the flea market and she'd buy tiny little Limoges plates. She put them in a knick-knack shelf in the kitchen, covered with a piece of glass that she stained herself. She loved the way the sun came through the front window, and she would move all day from chair to chair to chair to make sure that she was still in it, especially after she got sick. She was many people's favorite person. And that made me happy, because she had 5 kids right away and then got sick and died. It couldn't have been easy for her. I have 4 kids, and my life is very easy. I have 2 things my mother never had: a nanny and a wife. I feel sorry for you heterosexuals. I know it's not your fault. You were born that way. It's in the DNA. You didn't choose to be straight. But let me tell you, a wife is helpful, ladies. Very, very helpful. People sometimes say to me, "How did you explain it to your kids, the 2 mommies?" I'm like, "We just lived it. They got it from the get-go." When Blake was in kindergarten, he had a play date with a new kid from the school. Kelly had picked them up and brought them home. I came home from work. I went into the playroom. They were using Thomas the Tank Engine. I said, "Hi, buddy." Blake said, "This is my mama." And the little kid says, "I thought that blonde lady was your mama." And Blake says, "I got 2 mamas." The other kid says, "Impossible." And Blake goes, "Oh yeah? Gay. Ever hear of it?" It's like fantastic, you know? I left the room, but I wanted to listen. because I thought this is getting good, right? So I'm standing like out of the way so they don't see me, and I hear him, and the kid's like, what is that? And so Blake, I guess, was picking up the trains, because all I hear was, okay, like, you see this guy connects to this guy, and this guy connects to this guy, all with the magnets, right? And then you file them like this. Look, no matter what you do, it doesn't connect to the other trains. You have to find another train just like it. They will totally connect. Those two trains are absolutely gay. Absolutely gay. Pretty good, Blake. So simple, even George Bush could understand it. Doesn't he make you proud? Oh, depressing. It's seriously depressing. And it gets bad. I get blue. I really do. And I realized my mother did too. And I only realized this recently because Vivi came into my art studio and said, Mama, how come you only listen to sad songs? I had Joni Mitchell really, really loud like I usually do. And I remember coming home from school in 1970 and my mother listening to Paul Simon, The Sound of Silence. Hello Darkness, my old friend. Paul Simon, Joni Mitchell, same. And that's the point, I think, of life that you come to figure out once you're old enough to realize. Everybody here in this room, straight, gay, trans, bi, somewhere in between. Everybody, same. We're all here on one ride. Take advantage of it, right? Shake it up, people. Leave the house. Dare to be annoying. A little bit later tonight, I get to play drums for Cyndi Lauper. And in my mind, like I do every night when I'm playing, I'm going to imagine my 74-year-old mother sitting in the way back, smiling. It's been a long time, and I missed her. Life is what you make of it. Don't let it go. Feel your feelings. Love yourself. Same. Thank you very much for being here.